to Crew Conversations with Ifra Nasheed, where softness speaks, stories matter, and healing has a mic. Listen, this is a new mic we're testing. Hopefully, the sound is okay. But today is so special because this isn't just an impromptu episode that we usually do. You know, I'm on the fly with it. It's a letter, a conversation, and a moment between me and my son. A space where I get to tell him all of the things I hope that he carries with him forever about love, about life, and about who he is. So grab you a pretty glass and a wine, a beverage, a soda, a drink, and sit back. Let's dive in. We're gonna bring our guest out. Joining me is my guest, my son, Orion J. Nail. Anywho, he is agreeing to be on camera. You know, my first guest would not show her face, but we heard her wonderful voice. So we're gonna give you a mic. And then we have a beverage. Green is the theme for today. And we have a little wine, so we're gonna cheers to us. I'm so excited. I didn't even have to ask him to be a guest. He wanted to support his mom, and I'm so thankful. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, this is going to be a conversation between me and my son on all the things. Fun fact, we've already talked about everything for the last...
However long I've been here.
Yeah, we've talked about so much. I don't even know where to start. Mm-hmm. I don't really know where to start. First of all, I do want to say, you know, that I am so proud of you. I know, like, this is a word that I always use, but, you know, it's just one of those things that I don't know what else to say. You know, I'm so incredibly proud of you because you know the journey and getting here to a successful man that's self-sufficient, because that's one of the things I always wanted for my son. You know, I remember telling you crazy stuff and you were like, lady, what are you talking about? I remember one specific time I was like, you're not going to be having a trash bag going from house to house and sleeping on some woman's couch and she live in a you know, I was just like over the top with it. And you was like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But, you know, I just really, I really wanted you to be self-sufficient and to be able to handle things on your own because, you know, we ain't promised tomorrow. And one day I might not be here and I wanted my children to be able to carry on for themselves. So, you know, I'm so proud of how far you come and doing so well in your military career because he is a Navy man. So yeah, let's see. What questions do I have? Is there anything that you want to say?
No, not right now.
Not right now. Okay. So, thinking back, let's start off kind of. Let's go back and talk about like some of the memories, good memories that stand out when you think about like your childhood and growing up here.
A lot of good memories was just always, it was always just me, you, and Araya. You know, it was always where we go out to eat, just go do something. It was just always us where we went to, what was that mountain park we used to go to as a kid?
Oak Mountain?
Oak Mountain, Brios, Civil Rights Museum, or even just being at the house.
Yeah.
You know, it was always just us.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one thing that always stands out. So I think that's why me and Araya was always so close.
Yeah.
We was always around each other all the time. You know, so that's something that I definitely look back on, and I definitely don't regret or anything like that.
One of the things we did talk about was, as a woman, as a parent, I always strive to be a better me. And so we've talked about how, you know, when I was a parent, I was so young, so I'm learning along the way. And one thing I wanted to say to you was, with you being not my first child, but the first child that I raised, because my first son was born sleeping. That's what
That's what
a
you
good
said.
way to say it. Yeah, he was
Mm-hmm.
born sleeping. So Ryan was my first baby to bring home, and to it was like you were like a little doll. You just was like so perfect. I remember we lived in the middle of nowhere in Fort Irwin, California, and we would sleep in and get up, and you have breakfast, and then we would watch the Young and the Restless like to but you were just such a good baby, and so to watch you grow up, it just was like looking back now. Then I didn't have time to pause and really enjoy the journey, but now when I look back on some of the things y'all did, it just was. I'm so proud of how far all of us have come along, because I never wanted to be the parent that you didn't really deal with. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for taking care of me, but I don't really fool with you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted us to have a good relationship, and I think we do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here if we didn't.
So let's talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
What has been the hardest lesson you've learned so far?
Mm. Hardest lesson that I've learned so far is that no matter how successful you are, there's always another thing you have to accomplish after you just got done accomplishing something. Like one thing that I always live by, especially in my military career, is that no matter what you do or no matter how successful you is, there's always something you can do to make your family proud.
So you were saying that there's always something that you can do to continue to make your family proud.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Cause it's like when I was getting my air warfare, that was one thing, and then as soon as I got it, I was trying to move on to the next thing. And I had got my surface. I was trying to move on to the next thing. Then I got junior sailor of the quarter, trying to move on to the next thing. Then at the same time, I had got promoted to E5, and then I had got junior sailor of the year.
Right.
So now I'm just like, what can I?
What's next?
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
next?
I love that you have goals set for yourself, and you're not satisfied in the what I've done, and you're not content in just being E5. You have like a set of goals for yourself. Like that is big,
Mm-hmm.
because you know when you were little and teenager, I'm like, boy, you got to do this, and you was like, yeah, I'll get to it. But now that you are doing your own thing and setting your own goals, and it's not something that we pushing you to do. It's like things that you want for yourself. It's like I sit back and like, man,
Yeah. Whenever I'm not the type to like, whenever I accomplish something, I'm always I appreciate it in the moment, but it's something that's temporary. I kind of move on from it and I'm just like, what's the next thing that I can do?
yeah,
So that's like really just with anything. So I'm not really like people. A lot of people they talk about everything that I accomplished at my last command, and they still talk about to this day.
mm-hmm.
Like my junior sailor of the year picture is still there.
Sit there.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
and so I'm just like, yeah, it was just something that I did, and then I try to move on from it. Really, I don't want to be stuck and not be humble and just be because a lot of people say I'm humble, but they say I'm cocky at the same time.
It's
But
the difference between cocky and confident.
yeah,
Like you
so I
probably are
tell
confident in who you are, and
yeah.
you get that from it. Anyway, what's something that you hope to never lose about yourself?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Just where I come from, and then just me being myself,
Yeah, being true
regardless,
to yourself.
regardless of my occupation and my career or the people that come and go in my life. That's one thing that I can't lose. Just being true to myself, because a lot of people say when you're in the military, it changes you, and I'm still the same goofy person that I was before I joined. And then they said when you go up the ranks, you're gonna change. I'm still the same goofy person I was before I got promoted. So I feel like if I try to be too strict, I'm not being true to myself. Because there's times where you have to be, but I want to just enjoy it. and have a good time and not really just try to be on somebody's behind all the time, you know?
Yeah. What um if you could describe yourself and then describe me in a few words, what words would you pick
Caring
for you?
for both of us, caring, understanding, appreciative, and this is not really much of an adjective, but nah, no mess taker. I mean, don't take nothing from nobody. Don't care who it is, how close we are.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that I see for
Yeah.
sure.
The one, I don't know if you did. I think you were like deployed, but I sent a text message and asked everybody for words to describe me. And actually, I did this exercise with you when you were little.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of felt like you were having identity, like, just not sure of yourself. And so I sent like a text and I asked my friends and family to describe you. And I remember writing this letter, the words down, and you were like, these people think this of me. And I'm like, yes, I just need you to think this.
Yeah, because back then I used to really care like what
Yeah.
people thought.
So I'm like, I need you to be sure of yourself.
Yeah.
And
So now I don't care.
definitely,
I don't care.
definitely
Whether you
true.
like me or not, I'm me for being me. If you don't like it, hit the road. I don't even care.
What's one thing you wish I understood better about you?
I don't really think there is none because
Nothing. You
nah.
think I know
Yeah,
you pretty well?
you don't really like be asking me like no questions of like if you ask questions of more of like a concern or like care, not more of like you don't understand it
Mm-hmm.
really. Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty honest. I'm pretty I don't
Yeah,
try to
pretty
like
much. Yeah.
beat around the bush around anything. So now
Yeah.
I don't really think there's nothing.
I never wanted to be an overbearing parent, very opinionated. I wanted you to live your life and we have a mutual respect. When we were talking about that, I want to respect your decisions and trust that what you think is good. But you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like, well, I don't like this person and you shouldn't either, type of thing, What's we laughing at the same thing? What's your favorite memory of just us two?
All the times that when it was just me and you after I graduated high school, I think
Mm,
I called you and I
mm,
told you that
mm.
was one of my favorite memories.
Yeah.
I tend to look back on it and I think about like what if I would have stayed, right? Not as far as like, things ain't going my way. Like what if I could go back and change things, but just like what would have been if I stayed here.
Hmm.
I think regardless, it worked out.
I think so too. Like I talked about how both of the kids moving to California and me here by myself, how tough that was. Like I was so incredibly depressed. But I feel like in order for things to play out that the way that it needed to for you guys in
Mm-hmm.
life, it had to happen how it happened. And you know, I'm in a season where every test you're gonna have a testimony. You're gonna come out on the other end. And even the hardest things that I've gone through, like having my first child, born sleeping, it's opened so many doors for me. Like doing the podcast, doing the YouTube, writing a book, the all of these was hard things to go through. But on the other side of it, I can celebrate that I made it. So even how things played out and you flying back and forth, back and forth between us, I feel like it played out the way it needed to because all of the decisions that you made for your life, as far as like going to the military, were your own. It wasn't us.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know of course at first he wanted you to go and you weren't trying to hear it. But in the end, the decision to go was your own. So that's one thing to be proud of. And I was the type of parent where I have two children. I never wanted you guys to feel like I love you more or her more. I wanted you guys to be equal. So it used to be so funny because I would come and get you from school to go have lunch, And I'd be like, don't tell Araya we having lunch. And, you know, it's like, especially you would be about to burst trying to keep this secret. You know, Araya was kind of stone faced. She was gonna keep her secret. And I would do the same thing with her. We would go and have lunch. I'd be like, don't tell Ryan, we had lunch or whatever. She's like, okay. You is like, you get in the car, you be looking like, I got a secret. I got a secret.
Really?
Yeah. And it would be so funny, but I wanted you guys to be equal all the time. So that was like special to me. It was like our own little thing. Especially we always went to Brio's, and it was just special. Every time I pass by there, I get sad because we have so many memories there, like sitting outside. I got pictures of me and Araya sitting outside. And I remember like you going there and getting the strawberry lemonade, and before the lady could walk off, you drink it.
You know, it's funny. When I was in Japan, they have a Chili's there.
The Chili's in Japan?
So it was me, one of my good friends, Russell, and then our other friend, Reyes. We were just going to Chili's, and they had strawberry lemonade, and I love strawberry lemonade. Like, if you give me a strawberry lemonade, by the time it's on, you put it on the table and you walk away, it's already gone.
It's gone.
And so I think that day that we were there, I think I had about like 7 or 8, right? And so the mug that they would give us, it'd be like right here. And I and I think the waitress got so sick of me drinking all the strawberry lemonade, she gave me like the beer mugs full of strawberry lemonade. She was trying to be funny. I drank that before she left too. So yeah, I still do that. I try not to, but I can't help it.
What's your favorite thing about our relationship?
That we don't hide nothing from each other. Like we ain't gotta beat around the bush. That we don't hold no secrets, nothing like that. We can just be honest with each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I wonder what shaped that. I always kind of like, because we pretty much were a team. Like when y'all were growing up, I always try to make decisions for the team. And I think that a lot of it, honestly, is that I never wanted to be the parent that feels like I got it all right, because I didn't. But what I've realized is like going through relationships and hurt and um different things, you don't have time to pause to try to heal, especially when you have little kids. You got to keep going. So in the hurt, in the mad, in the sad, you got to keep going. So I think like for me, looking back, I can say I didn't get it all right, but my intentions were always to be there for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To be a present parent. We talked about how I felt like y'all just were mine. Were mine. Looking back, it wasn't right, but carrying the hurt from divorce, I didn't have time to heal and figure out what was right for everybody. It just was like doing the best I can.
Sometimes it takes years to heal.
Right. I ain't have that. I had to keep it moving. I had to, what I'm saying, build a life for us when we got back home and stuff like that. And these, some of this we've talked about recently. So yeah. What's one lesson from me you think you'll carry forever?
Oh man, ain't one lesson that's always stuck with me, that ain't everybody gonna be your friend.
Whoop. I remember you were, how do you say, notorious. This my friend. This my friend. And I'm like, that's not your friend, Ryan. Yes, it is, Mama. That's my friend. And I'd be like, that's not your friend, Ryan. And that's the difference between you and Araya. She had these 3 people that she would only invite to her birthday parties every time. You were nice back then to everybody. So and because you were such a nice person, you expected everybody to be that same nice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that you had to grow and learn. Everybody ain't your friend. Mm-hmm. And And sometimes your friends ain't your friends,
Oh yeah, I learned that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
learned that.
But that's when you stay true to yourself, and you create a life that you love, and so the outside noise don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like where I am. I'm in here painting and trying to get the couches out that won't fit out the door. um I'll share one of my memories of us that always makes me smile because it's in my Snapchat. So when it pops up, it was like in the time that when you came home after it's like we bonded like no other. And I'm like, why is this grown man taking a nap in my bed? I'm in here and you would come get in the bed and take a nap. Or if I was doing my skincare, doing a mask, he was like, I want to do one too, and it's just like we spent so much time doing things just us two.
Mm-hmm.
And it really like bonded us, and it really, we got to know each other on another level. And what I love about um Araya is we love each other on all levels. Like as a mom, I love her as a friend. Um, and I love you the same way. Like as your mom, I don't have to mom so much now. So now I can just, I guess, be your little friend.
You mom whenever you feel like you need to, but I don't think I'll give you a reason to for
No,
real.
no, no, no. I think you're pretty solid on like what you need to do. I don't really have to give no directions because you do what you got to do.
Because I feel like what I tend to do now is I try not to like worry anybody
Mm,
really, because I feel like that's one thing a lot of parents tend to do a lot for their kids is worry, no matter where they are, whether they far or close, no matter where they live at. So I tend to like not really. I call, to call obviously,
mm-hmm.
but I don't ever want to like make it seem like I only call whenever I need something,
Right.
'Cause that's not how I am. Because if
Yeah.
I can get it myself, I will. Obviously, I know if I need. That's one thing that I think I'm also learning to always to admit when I need help instead of trying to do everything by myself. I can be independent as I want, but if it overwhelms me, I
Yeah.
ain't gonna know what to do.
Right. Yeah. And that's one thing that I always wanted to make sure that both of you guys were healthy mentally, because sometimes as Black people, we don't concern ourselves with mental health like we should, and make sure our children are good. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know when you're not good. Like when you first came home and it was tough.
Mhm.
And so, but you made the best out of it. You did what you I
Yeah,
don't know.
I had you, granddad, mom, Mike, and DeAndre saved me up like a lot.
Yeah,
Man, if it was
they were definitely there.
Jordan, Justin,
Yeah.
like if it wasn't for them, man, I'd be lost. But then it's like that's also when I found my passion in the filming too.
Right.
That's when it like really got like at its highest for sure. Shoot, me and Justin, we still be talking about it to this day
Yeah.
and everything.
What do you think God is teaching you right now?
Patience.
Patience. That's me. Patience. I don't have patience.
Mm-mm.
I've been praying for patience a long time. Yeah, I need instant gratification. And God be like, nope.
Yeah, he's teaching me
Yeah,
when the time is right, he'll give it to you. You can't rush
can't
anything.
rush it.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna drink to
So
that.
yeah, patience, because yeah, I'm not a very patient person myself.
I got my handy dandy notebook, well, my iPad, because I don't like the glasses, the glare, but I got this Zoom to 1000. But I'm gonna put it down for a second and see if you have anything that you want to ask me. I usually don't do this because this is my show, but
Hmm.
no, this
I
my
want
questions.
I want I want to see.
No, you got to see what you want to ask.
Yeah,
These,
I want to see. I know you ain't asked me every
okay, let
question
me
on that
see.
thing.
No, I didn't. Let me see. Let me find you some questions.
Okay.
Hold, please. I don't know if this is a good idea. Hold on. You got three questions.
You sound like Araya. Araya gave you 5. Oh, did she give you 3?
3.
She gave you 3.
3.
Okay. One question I definitely ask is, what was your biggest dream when you were a teenager?
Honestly, I don't even think I had like a big dream because I'm all over the place. I want to do this. I want to cook. I want to do this. I want to do that. So I don't think that I had like this big dream like that. And I think I wish that I did. Like I know my friends, like Shantae wanted to be a physical therapist and somebody wanted to, I just didn't have that. You know, my mind just was like, I don't know.
Mm.
That's why I still don't know.
You know what I tell people? I tell people when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, I know what you wanted to be.
What you gonna say?
A Power Ranger.
I tell
Pissed me off.
I tell people.
Imagine having a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. You ask the 5-year-old, what do you want to be? Oh, I want to be a dentist when I grow up. And then an 8-year-old boy wants to be a Power Ranger, running around in spandex.
Yeah.
And I was like,
A
this is
green Power Ranger.
the great.
That's the best one.
Go.
Let me see. What do you see in my future that I might not see yet?
What do I see? I see you continuing, of course, in your career. Um, and I see eventually you doing both things that you love, the military and the film. I think you'll have something that just pops off like that. And I feel like you'll continue to soar in life and have the best of the best.
You gonna see.
Yeah.
You're gonna see what happens first.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last question is, what's the most important thing you want me to learn about love?
Love. Don't settle for somebody that you really love and it's one-sided. Make sure that it's reciprocated and they love you the same way that you love them.
Mm.
Not because it's surface, somebody that loves you because they love you, not because of something that you can do for them or you just tall handsome guy, but definitely someone that cares for you on a level that is unmatched. You don't have no worries. You don't think that you're missing out or you're doing more than they're doing for you. You know, it's just genuine love. Definitely not somebody that you love harder than they love you and you chasing them and making sure, trying to make them happy. You want somebody that loves you enough to be concerned about your happiness and well-being as well. You will want to keep putting out because the more you put out and you're not receiving anything, you're going to be drained. You know, we talked about that. You got to have somebody that loves you the way you love them, not just you love them so much, because you can't love somebody to make it right. You can't love them enough that it works.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be, yeah. And I feel like, you know, um, I didn't always get it right. But now that I'm in my singleness, I refuse to just settle for half-assness. Cause I'm good, you know. So why would I settle for just a little bit? You can keep going. I like this.
Okay. Let's see. When did you first know I was gonna be okay?
Um, I knew you were gonna be okay a long time ago. I always knew that you were gonna be okay. It's just the path and the journey to get you to be okay, because I feel like I knew you were going to be okay because of the parents that you have. We weren't going to let you not be okay. You know what I'm saying? We just two impatient people, who looking for results different ways, you know what I'm saying, or have different ideas of how to get you there. So I knew that you would be okay. I didn't know how or what you would be doing. I didn't know that you would just go to the military, because you just told your granddad he didn't tell me. But I always knew that you would be okay. But when I really knew that you were going to be okay is when you started to make decisions for yourself, and you would just call to get advice or tell me what you had going on. But like, you were like, I'm gonna buy me a car, or I'm gonna do this, and you did these things on your own without my help. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, he holding it down. Let me get a list of things that I want. So yeah, I knew that you would be okay, because why would I let my son fail? Now, the path didn't look straight like this, but these are lessons that you have for yourself, because we didn't give you nothing. You earned everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes you even more proud that you ain't want no handouts. You made all of this happen for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got any more questions?
I'll ask one more. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. What helps you stay hopeful on hard days?
So the way that I handle my hard days or hard times is, just say if I have 24 hours and I'm having a hard time or sad or depressed, you can't have my whole day, whatever it is. Like, I might talk to the devil. You can't have my whole day. I might be sad in this moment, but my whole day you cannot have. So I may have to reset, sit down, pray, cry, take me a shower, put me some pajamas on, and get into bed. But I know that I decided in my mind that I'm not going to stay at a low place. So whatever I need to do to get back up, I'm going to continue to get back up. Then I'm going to continue to get back up. So it's like a mind thing for me. I've decided that I'm not going to stay down. Because I can be depressed and we can stay there, and that ain't what I want.
That's good.
Rapid fire. No, I'm just playing. Who in your life inspires you?
Ooh, it's a lot. There's a lot of people. Uh,
Run them down.
Shoot, my biggest one that's like not close to me is Kobe. Kobe's definitely one of my biggest inspirations. That's why I wear this wristband. I think I've worn this every day for like almost 2 years now.
Oh, yeah.
And I think his philosophy of like never giving up, never being satisfied. I think that's where I get that from. When he says job's not finished,
I like that.
that's where I get that from a lot. And just not care whether I fail, succeed. I got to keep going. Granddad is definitely one. That's like the hardest working person I know. That's the hardest working man that I know, for sure. Um, Araya, she definitely inspires me for sure. Just how she always stays true to herself no matter what. Always honest, gonna let you know how she feel about it. Um, Definitely feel like my dad too, for sure. Just as I felt like back then I didn't really do a whole lot. Really, just anybody in my family, I felt like I didn't really do a whole lot for them to be proud of. So now I feel like with my military career, that's one thing that like
that's not the one thing that I got, but it's like it's something that I have for everyone to see whenever I accomplish, I become successful. Whatever I tell them or they see it, I can finally have someone say, "Yeah, that's something that we can be proud of." So those are definitely the people that definitely inspire me for sure. That always keeps me going. But
What's what do you think I do really well as a mom?
don't play about her kids for sure. We tell you we feel some type of way or somebody was bothering us. Oh, ain't no questions asked. You going straight to that school. You cuss out the kids, cuss out the
I did
teacher.
not cuss out no kids.
I did. Remember that girl made Araya cry when she was in kindergarten,
I
and
don't remember.
she told her that Santa Claus wasn't real. And I think this is when we lived at Pebble Creek, and she came to me. Some of my classmates came to me crying, saying that she was crying. And I was like, "What's wrong?" She said she told me Santa wasn't real. Obviously she in kindergarten, so obviously she don't think Santa is real. So I was like, "All right, like who told her?" I ain't gonna say her name, but it was
Yeah. Anyway,
a big girl. That's all I'm gonna say. And then
we.
so I was like, "What you doing, making my sister cry?" She said she was talking about Christmas Santa, so I just had to let her know that Santa Claus wasn't real. I went off on that girl so bad. I'm in the third grade. I'm saying words I didn't even know existed. All
Boy.
types of curse words. I done made her cry.
Oh
She
my.
didn't. She didn't told the bus driver. She didn't told Ms. Edwards. She didn't told her mama. And then they asked me why I went off on her. I said because she made my sister cry, and I wasn't playing that. And she the one that got in trouble. I went off scot free.
What do you think is my superpower?
Oh yeah, unconditional love.
Unconditional love. What's one thing you think I should have done different as a mom?
One thing that's different. Um, let me see. Hmm. You answer right this question.
I only had 3 questions.
Yeah, I'll let you ask more. Um, if I'm being honest, probably just the whole thing with our dad. Maybe that's probably one
What,
thing.
like leaving?
Nah, just like
Like how things happen?
yeah. Which I
Yeah,
know it wasn't
yeah.
easy.
Like I said, looking back, because of course our hindsight is 2020. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? But coming off of being so hurt, it's hard to move past it. And so even years later, that's what you see. When somebody hurt you, that's what you see. Like, because, and so you don't make good decisions, you don't act right because of the hurt. You see what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? So, not saying that he was perfect.
mm-hmm.
It was both of us. You know what I'm saying? Not able to work together and co-parent as well as we should have. But, you know,
I mean, at the end of the day, see,
we made it.
we turned out good, so that's all that
we
matter.
made it. We made it. And you know, I'm thankful that I can look back on things and say, like I said, I didn't get everything right. I didn't. But, you know, we talked about this, how in my mind, y'all were just mine. And I didn't have to counsel with somebody else on what I need to do or how I need to do because they were mine. I know that that was their other parent, but they were mine.
Mm-hmm.
Selfish is what it was. You know, uh, didn't want to share. Not across the country. How was that possible? And it was, I'm gonna be real. Trying to work with him, it was no compromise. It was his way or no way. It was it was like he wanted y'all to live there, and it was not like, well, let's share. No,
it was no compromising. So, what was I supposed to do? And I feel like I was stuck between what if I had walked away from y'all? How would you do you think we had the same relationship had I walked away and I'm over here living my best life and I'm not even paying y'all no attention?
I wouldn't think you would walk. I wouldn't even call it walk away because knowing you, you wouldn't just send us off and then that'd be the end of it.
Hmm.
I don't think that's not you.
Yeah, so it was just hard to try to figure out how to make that work, and it just happened the way it happened. I apologize for my part in it. Um, that's all I can do. We made it. We did. I did the best I could with at the time. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you got to think about it. I was 22 when you were born. I was 25 when Orion was born. So you 26. You don't have no kids. You ain't making no decisions for nobody but yourself. So I had to do the best that I could with the resources that I had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did. I did the best I could. I'm proud of us. We are three individuals who love each other,
Mm-hmm.
and we all doing good. So, you have any closing?
Like closing statements.
Yeah.
Uh, mm, shoot. There's this one quote from Kobe. There's a couple of them that always stick with me, but there's this one. Is always God is great.
God is great.
Simple as that. God
Simple
is
as
great.
that. God is great. Boy, this was. What do you think? How do you think it went?
It went great.
What I want the people to know is that we always have open and honest conversations. Um, Sometimes I might have tears because you know I'm just a crybaby, but I'm thankful that we do have a relationship that I can come to you and talk to you about how I feel and what I'm feeling, and vice versa. You can come and tell me whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have such a level of respect for each other that whatever I say to you is respectful. Whatever you say to me is respectful, and I'm thankful for that because we ain't around here yelling and screaming and calling each other out. No, we not gonna do that. And the one you actually set the tone for me in the way that I talk to you. I don't know if I ever told you about that, but I remember just Ryan was the smartest kid, but he wanted to raise his hand to give an answer instead of turning in homework. So it was frustrating because you knew that he was so smart. But so I was like, you just doing stupid stuff. Why did you do? And if you used ugly words to you, it broke you. You did not like that. And it was like you looked at me one day and I could see that you didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I changed how I talk to you and what I said. And that's the day that I asked everybody for those words because I didn't want to break your spirit. And I knew like saying, well, you're doing stupid stuff to you was like me calling you stupid. Even though I wasn't calling you stupid. But to you,
Mm-hmm.
it was. And I knew I didn't want that. So I'm thankful that, I know how to self correct and I kind of feel like stuff like that helped me not be. I didn't want to be a toxic mom and calling you out your name and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So you helped me with that. You did because I could see you never said that, but when I would be like, you just doing dumb stuff and you acting stupid. To you, I was calling you dumb and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like when I started feeding you positive stuff, you started reacting positively. And so, anybody watching, you have a small son, give him good things, feed him good things, and he gonna feed it back to you. That taught me real good. So before I end, I want to say that I see you. I see the way that you are becoming, because we are all in the becoming. We still striving to be a better person. The way you're figuring out life and the way you're still trying. My son, you are my answered prayer. Like so many nights, I prayed and cried for God to help you find your way, not my way, your way. You are proof that God still writes beautiful stories, and no matter what tomorrow holds, you will never have to face it alone because your mama is right here. And I'm so thankful for this time. I'm not going to even cry because I was not even expecting this visit at all. My house was a disaster. I wasn't even at home, and he surprised me. I'm going to insert the picture. But of all of the places you could be and all of the things that you could do, you wanted to come home and spend time and sit on the couch with his mama. I'm so thankful. I love you so much.
I love you too, Mom.
Bye, y'all.